It looks like he just stopped.
By stepping in.
He may have done it purposely.
Jeez.
I was gonna say, like, several more. Like, they used one. Don't touch your queen. Whatever you do, don't touch her. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is your favorite couple from the Midwest, Ethan and Angela. And today we're going to continue our week of the Queen. We're going to be checking out the biggest mistakes everyone makes when they meet the Queen.
Which I found to be very interesting, because that's just like, if you do meet the Queen, there are probably certain protocols and stuff like that. Not that everyone's met the Queen, but I'm sure some of you have. She seems like she gets around.
That sounds wrong.
I know, maybe I shouldn't phrase it that way. Anyway, this video sounded really interesting. I really wanted to check it out, because I have no idea.
I'm sure it's probably different than meeting anyone else.
Yeah, I would feel like it's different than meeting a president.
I don't know. It's just, I know it's very different. There's, I feel like, more of a respect thing for a queen than there is like a president. I feel like it's not the same though with presidents, because like they get a lot of hate, usually from whatever party they don't represent. They're supposed to represent everyone regardless of party lines. They're not supposed to be, you know, one-sided, even though that obviously ends up being the case. But anyway, it's definitely not the same, because it's either like someone's on probably love and respect, or the other person's just probably gonna be yelling and screaming.
I feel like that could be the same with the Queen, but maybe not as much.
I don't think as much, because she's
especially because she's been around so long, 70 years.
Well, that, and she's not as involved with politics, I don't believe. Anyway, guys, let's get right in this video and check out the biggest mistakes people make when they meet the Queen.
Anyone who's read a British tabloid knows there are certain traditional customs that one is expected to observe when they meet the Queen. So to ensure your next meeting with the monarch goes smoothly, here are some common mistakes to avoid. By tradition, the Queen's status and power make her literally untouchable. According to CNN, one should never attempt to touch the Queen unless she initiates contact. And on the off chance she does choose to let you touch her, the most she will do is reach out her hand for a polite handshake, which under no circumstances must you try to turn into a full-on hug. This tradition has been especially fraught for friendly, social people, and more than one high-ranking world leader has raised eyebrows for violating it. CNN reports that in 2017, Canada's then-Governor, General David Johnston, sparked a scandal when he was caught touching the Queen's elbow during his visit to London. CNN also reported that in 2009, then First Lady Michelle Obama set off a firestorm of controversy by embracing the Queen. Both survived, and the Queen later dismissed the fuss about the embrace.
So kind of random, like, that's such a big deal. Like, I guess that's the rule for everyone, like, they're expected, but I don't know, like, I feel like
they told that beforehand?
I was gonna say, yeah, like, if you don't know, do they just say, like, okay, hey, don't touch your queen. Whatever you do, don't touch her. The one seemed like the guy was being really nice, like, trying to help her down, but I guess maybe that's for, like, a guardsman, or maybe
her husband.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I get the no touching rule. Like, that's the rule.
I wonder if that applies to her immediate family as well, or even semi-extended family.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Like,
maybe extended. I can imagine like her grandkids running up. Obviously, though, with kids, I feel like there's leniency too. If a kid just runs up and gives the Queen a hug or something, but like I've seen her do handshakes, but for some reason I thought you were supposed to like kiss her hand.
Oh.
But I guess that's not a thing.
I guess that's something we've always thought of, like, oh, royalty, kiss the royal hand kind of thing, but I don't think that's in practice anymore, or maybe it never was.
And so you're told what to do, and you sort of step forward and you curtsy or bow, in whatever fumbled, terrible thing I probably did.
A common thread connecting many rules of royal etiquette is to always pay attention to the Queen and make sure she knows you're paying attention. If you are at an event where the Queen is expected, this means standing to acknowledge her presence when she arrives, according to the Mirror. And if you are already standing, keep your hands by your sides and out of your pockets. It's considered rude and even scandalous to be seen with your hands in your pockets at royal events, even if you're a royal yourself. But if you've been wearing your best high heels and your feet are burning, have no fear. You're only obliged to remain standing as long as the Queen herself stays standing. So when she seats herself by tradition, you're allowed, if not encouraged, to follow her lead.
So I kind of expect that though, for most like leaders or people with high respect, you usually stand up.
Yeah. Well, I know like in our court system, like if you go to court, when the judge enters, they say everybody rise, everyone has to stand up, and you don't sit until he says you may be seated. So,
I don't know if they absolutely have to, or if it's just something that people do.
It is one of those, it's a sign of respect.
Like I know, but I don't know if it's a law. Like if you don't stand, I
guess it is a spoken rule.
I don't know if you'd be in trouble. But yeah, no, you're right. Also,
I held in contempt. I don't know.
I don't know. A lot of that used to be just like gentlemen's courtesy.
Yeah.
Like, men used to stand up every time any woman entered a room. I don't know if they would wait for her to sit down, but I know that, I mean, that used to be a thing, like in the 1800s, 1700s.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was like very common.
I don't know, it does seem like a sign of respect.
No, it is.
So, especially for the Queen, everyone doing that. That makes sense.
I mean, I would expect, yes, she's the Queen of England. You stand up.
Herself, by tradition, you're allowed, if not encouraged, to follow her lead. If you should be fortunate enough to be approached by the Queen, be prepared to give her your full attention. According to The Independent, looking distracted or inattentive around the Queen is a bad look indeed. Make eye contact so she knows you're paying attention, and you may bow or curtsy as she approaches. But don't overdo these gestures. According to the royal family's official website, a brief neck bow from the head only or small curtsy is all that's needed. Alternatively, you may shake hands, but only if the Queen extends her hand first. It's also worth remembering that when it comes to interacting with the Queen, being emotionally and mentally present isn't enough. Appearances count, especially since it's likely you'll have a bank of cameras trained on you. Even a seasoned world traveller like President Joe Biden got into hot water during his visit with the Queen for having the audacity to wear sunglasses at their outdoor reception. According to The Independent, this act was a blatant violation of the eye contact rule. Before you set off for your royal appointment with the Queen,
I wonder if that actually did, if people actually wrote about it in the news. I didn't even pay.
I didn't catch that.
We didn't hear anything about it, so our side, it wasn't a big deal. But I wonder if like British tabloids and papers were making a huge fuss about it. Like how disrespectful.
Before you set off for your royal appointment with the Queen, be sure to brush up on your royal titles. Not all royals are created equal, and royal honorifics are not interchangeable. Confusing Your Majesty and Your Highness is a major faux pas. It's especially critical to keep this straight if you're scheduled to meet with more than one member of the royal family. And, needless to say, one should never address her simply by her first name. According to the royal family's official website, the Queen and only the Queen should be addressed as Your Majesty upon first presentation, and after that can simply be addressed as Ma'am. And in case you're wondering, the honorific Your Royal Highness is the correct formal greeting for other members of the family. A gentle warning. When meeting the Queen, your forwardness is not your friend. According to Insider, one should never call out to the Queen, nor should one initiate a conversation with her. As in all other areas of her life, the Queen always takes the lead. So, as much as you may be dying to run up and introduce yourself to her, cool your heels and wait your turn. But don't take it personally, as there is a good reason for this convention. Because of their tight schedules, royals have to pace their conversations carefully. Royal etiquette expert Grant Harold, the former butler to Prince Charles, told Insider, royals are supposed to begin the conversation. You'll notice they start it so they can be in control of the time. They have to take control.
I don't know why I paused there. But I was actually kind of assuming that. Because, like, yeah, you can't just have everyone coming up to you and, like, starting conversations.
Chatting about your day.
I mean, you could, but, like, they have other things to do, so...
I'm sure they're very busy.
It's part of their duty, I guess, to get things done as opposed to just sit and talk with everyone.
Yeah.
They have to take control.
She keep talking to me. My head is empty. I don't know what she's talking about.
Being invited to meet the Queen.
He hasn't been in, at least not that I've seen, he hasn't been in enough movies lately.
No.
He's older though, maybe he's semi-retired.
Probably.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Being invited to meet the Queen is an honour. Thus, according to the Mirror, by tradition, you must acknowledge this honour and show your respect by bringing a present. But what on earth does one give a woman who has more stuff than pretty much anyone watching this video? Per CNN, you can bring a gift, but make sure it's appropriate for the occasion. Official gifts go into the Royal Collection, one of the largest private art collections in the world, even if they are given to a specific family member. According to Insider, the royal family does pay attention to the gifts they receive each year and makes notes on who gave them, keeping an itemized inventory of each present and its details. Insider also reports that one of 5 fates may befall your gift. The Queen may choose to use your gift. It may go into storage for up to 5 years. It may be added to the royal collection. It may be donated or loaned to an organisation. Or it may be discarded or destroyed. Dining with the royal family involves yet another set of complex traditions and codes of conduct. Which table you are assigned to and which seat you are given are determined by your rank relative to other guests, according to Debrett's. You may also find at your place setting several more forks, knives, and spoons than you'd typically use at home.
Jeez.
I was gonna say, like, several more? Like, they use one. I know, like, if you go to, like, a fancy restaurant, I think there's, like, at least 2 forks, 2 spoons, or 3 and 3. This is obviously going a little overkill, but...
Several more forks, knives, and spoons than you'd typically use
They're
at home.
incredibly formal, in case you didn't know.
It's all for me. Just start from the outside and work your way in.
As Debrett's also notes, you can expect formal prayers and speeches before the meal is served, by which time you may be starving. But no matter how hungry you are, resist the urge to dig in the minute your plate lands in front of you. It is considered quite rude to begin eating before the Queen. As always, follow her lead. Once she begins eating, you are free to begin your meal as well. And once she has finished, this is a sign that the meal is about to wrap up for everyone.
Oh.
That's actually also another thing that used to happen, like the sign of respect, not just for the Queen, but, you know, back in, I guess, I've read too many books, like 1800s, but, like, the head of household or whatever, like the father, a lot of people, and I think this is something that should be done more. I think I've mentioned this in earlier videos, but the family setting, all eating together at a table, even if it's not daily. But anyway, people used to do that, and it was like you had to wait till the dad came in.
Or one of the things is you had to wait till everyone was done eating before anyone could leave.
Well, that too, but no, I'm saying like you had to wait for the father to sit down, pray, and then eat before, like, everyone ate together as a family, but you had to wait.
Yeah.
So, and then, yeah, you're right, everyone had to wait till everyone was done before finishing.
Before getting up.
Yeah. I totally butchered that, guys, sorry.
I got what you said.
Has finished, this is a sign that the meal is about to wrap up for everyone.
What I'm trying to say is people used to be more formal on general.
Yes, we've gotten
When it
very
comes
lazy.
to royal events, rank is everything, and everyone ranks below the Queen. Thus, everything about your behaviour around the Queen must be guided by one central principle. She's more important than you, and all traditions surrounding royal events are meant to reflect this. For instance, according to Newsweek, the Queen is always the first in line in any procession she appears in, and always walks ahead of everyone else, including her own family members, when entering a room. Even her late husband, Prince Philip, was obliged by tradition to walk 2 paces behind her throughout their married life. This means that cutting in front of her, even inadvertently, is a serious no-no, and violating this rule has gotten high flyers into big trouble with the etiquette police. For instance, during his 2018 visit with the Queen, then President Donald Trump set tongues wagging by stepping in front of her during their joint inspection of the Guard of Honour, blocking the Queen's view completely. At royal events...
I bet a lot of people were pissed at that. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, that's...
Especially, he's a big dude. He would block a lot of view.
No, he literally, like, legit blocked her.
Yeah. Legit in front of her.
Donald Trump set tongues wagging by stepping in front of her during their joint inspection of the...
I wonder if he didn't know, or if he just didn't care.
I don't know.
Maybe
it's hard to tell with him.
Maybe
He
a
could
little
have
bit
done
of
it
both.
purposely.
He may have done it purposely.
Donald Trump set tongues wagging by stepping in
like he
front
just
of her
stopped.
during their joint inspection of the Guard of Honour,
That's
blocking
kinda
the
ridiculous,
Queen's
not
view
gonna
lie.
completely. At royal events, there's no such thing as fashionably late. According to Debrett's, it is correct for everyone to arrive before the royal personage.
That's
In
gotta be
short,
nice.
you wait for the Queen. You don't ever make her wait for you. Traffic delays and last-minute work emergencies are no excuse. Fortunately for royal visitors, the royal household will contact you with all the details of your upcoming visit once you are invited, including exactly where the event will take place and what time you are expected. Sorry to disappoint you, but selfies are a serious no-no. According to the BBC, unofficial photos are expressly forbidden in royal palaces.
Can we just take a moment? Is that all gold?
Might be gold covered, but I doubt it's
I mean,
gold.
okay, I guess not solid, but is that all gold plated everything?
I don't know.
That is a super fancy place.
Yeah, very elegant.
Oh, it's Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
But still.
Royal palaces, and at
And yet
other
they
royal
keep the
events,
video right
guests
there.
may be asked to leave their phones at home or keep them turned off. But if you absolutely must take a selfie to commemorate your visit, be discreet about it. As Debrett's advises, Any photographs taken to mark the occasion should be taken outside the gate before the event begins. But don't worry, as your visit will likely be documented by an official photographer, and you'll be able to order souvenir photos or video footage if you wish. You may have to pay for these photos, but let's face it, they'll probably be much more flattering than any shots you could have taken yourself. Here's a royal etiquette rule that should be familiar to most commoners. When talking to the Queen, keep the conversation light and don't talk about politics or religion. According to Insider, trying to engage the Queen in a friendly debate about the hot topic of the day is a serious breach of etiquette, as is asking any personal questions about herself or the royal family. No matter how curious you are to hear her thoughts about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's departure from the royal family, don't even think about
She's
going
like
there.
scowling at him.
Instead, chat about a topic of mutual interest, such as corgis.
Aww.
At any event involving the Queen, she must be the centre of attention. Thus, while you're not required to train your gaze on her at all times, you must avoid turning your back on her, which is considered disrespectful, according to the BBC. Fortunately, for less coordinated royal guests, this rule has loosened in recent years, and you won't get sent to the Tower of London for failing to face forward. But in deference to this tradition, you still must not walk in front of her. You're probably familiar with the standard rule that it's rude to overstay your visit, but when you're at an event with the Queen, the opposite rule holds. According to CNN, it's considered rude to leave an event before the Queen. If you have a scheduling conflict and will have to leave early, you must obtain permission in advance from one of the royal family's private secretaries.
Interesting.
This even applies to other members of the royal family, who must never go to bed before the Queen. Newsweek reports that the Queen is a night owl, and her love for hours of late-night conversation made Princess Diana miserable. The Queen's former private secretary, Sir William Heseltine, revealed in an interview for the book The Royals in Australia, for Diana, the long royal evenings were agony, and Diana was driven to such extremes that she'd excuse herself and go to bed, which was thought to be rather bad form, going to bed before the Queen. If you're
I don't get that one though. Like, I guess maybe it's just a big sign of respect. I think
I mean, if you were forced to be in the room with her anyway, but if you're like not socializing with her or needing to socialize with her and you're just in another room, it's like, why not?
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're called upon to meet the Queen on short notice and don't have time to memorise a long list of rules of royal etiquette, a good general rule of thumb is to simply follow her lead, according to CNN. This includes eating when she eats, sitting when she sits, and basically following her cues. This will keep you out of trouble in most circumstances during any royal event. But if the very idea of meeting the Queen has you paralysed with social anxiety, don't worry. You're not the only one who's both intimidated and baffled by royal etiquette, and the royal family understands this. For this reason, they will have their household staff provide you with detailed information and advice about your upcoming visit, from the dress code to the code of conduct. As Drexel explained, the aim of the royal household is to make people comfortable and ensure they have a good experience.
Cool.
Once at the event, members of the royal household are on hand to guide guests throughout. So relax, use your common sense, and if you do commit any minor errors, they will almost certainly be forgiven.
What about Rowan Atkinson when he met the Queen?
I know, I was just thinking about that.
I think he missed a few of those etiquette classes. Yeah, that was actually a lot more interesting than I was thinking.
Yeah, it was very informative.
There was a lot more stuff. I guess like the thing is for us, we're not obviously not gonna ever meet royalty, so I don't have to worry about it. But it's still an interesting thing to check out and just look into and just learn about what some people do have to go through.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think it's very different when you meet a president. I mean, they have like certain protocol. I think if you're like full on meeting them for political reasons or whatever, you don't have to treat them quite like royalty.
Well, that's the thing. They're not.
Yeah.
And again, the comparison between a president and a queen is definitely different. It'd be more like a president and prime minister. You have to look into that.
I wonder if prime ministers have any type of etiquette, proper etiquette.
There's probably something. So anyway, I do like the ending though, where pretty common sense, just follow her lead.
Yes.
And you should be safe.
Yeah.
So that is really good advice for anyone who
meets royalty. Big question. Has anybody of you met the Queen? I'm sure some of you have seen her in passing maybe on certain events. has anyone actually met her or heard her speak?
Anyway, guys, that's the video. It was definitely interesting and part of the whole week we have going on for checking out the Queen. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below what your thoughts were, and if you have met the Queen or royalty.
Why'd you point to me?
Well, that was your question.
Oh, yeah.
And just what your experience was. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Please be safe, take care, look after one another, and as always, cheers.